beloved soul, pause for a moment and feel this: something extraordinary has just shifted in your favor, and you were not meant to miss this message. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is a divine interruption. April 29th has already been marked in the spiritual realm as the day your name was written beside a multi-million-dollar blessing. Yes, you heard that correctly. A blessing so massive, so life-altering, that it carries the power to change everything you thought was impossible. But listen carefully, because this is where the urgency begins. Archangel Michael is not calm right now. He is not silent. He is calling out with intensity because you are closer than ever to letting this slip away. There is something happening behind the scenes that your physical eyes cannot yet see. Papers have been signed in the spiritual realm. Doors have already been unlocked. A pathway hath been cleared just for you. But here's the truth that may shake you. Someone else is watching that same open door. Someone else is standing close enough to step into what was prepared for you if you hesitate even for a moment longer. This is not about fear, this is about awareness. This is about waking up right now, in this very second, and realizing what is at stake. Archangel Michael is stepping forward not with softness but with urgency, because time is not stretching. It is closing in. You may have felt distractions pulling you away lately. You may have noticed delays, confusion, or even moments where you doubted yourself more than usual. That was not random. That was interference. Because when a blessing of this magnitude is assigned to your life, resistance always tries to follow. But here is the truth that must echo in your spirit. You were chosen before this moment ever arrived. There were nights you prayed when no one heard you. There were tears you carried silently. There were moments you almost gave up, but something inside you refused to break. That right there is why your name is written on this blessing. Not by accident, but by divine design. And now, as April 29th approaches, everything is aligning rapidly. But alignment requires action. It requires your awareness. It requires you to stop scrolling past what could be the very message that shifts your entire destiny. Feel this deeply. This is not just about money. This is about restoration. This is about elevation. This is about stepping into a version of your life that once felt out of reach. And yet, here you are, standing at the edge of it. Archangel Michael is not angry because you are unworthy. No, he is urgent because you are worthy, and you are dangerously close to missing what is rightfully yours. Right now, in this moment, something within you is being stirred. That is not imagination. That is confirmation. You were meant to hear this before it is too late. Do not brush this aside. Do not delay. Because what happens next will determine whether this blessing lands in your hands or quietly passes to someone else who is simply more ready to receive it. The question is no longer whether this blessing exists. The question is, will you claim it in time? There is a reason why April 29th feels different, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. Something in your spirit has already sensed a shift, a quiet tension in the air, as if time itself is leaning in closer to you. This is not your imagination. This date carries a spiritual imprint, a divine appointment that was set long before you were even aware of it. In the unseen realm, moments like these are not chosen randomly. They are marked with precision, aligned with your journey, your prayers, and the battles you have already endured. Archangel Michael is revealing that April 29th is not just a day, it is a doorway. A threshold between what has been and what is about to be released into your life. But here is what you must understand. Every divine doorway attracts both opportunity and opposition. The closer you get to something life-changing, the more resistance begins to rise. lately, that resistance has not been subtle in your life. Think about the distractions that have been pulling at your attention, the sudden doubts that appeared out of nowhere, the delays that made you question whether anything good was really coming your way, even the moments where you felt unusually tired, unmotivated, or disconnected from your purpose. These were not random feelings. These were carefully placed interruptions designed to keep you from recognizing the significance of this moment. Archangel Michael is standing as a protector, but also as a messenger, making it clear that what is happening around you right now is part of a larger spiritual movement. There are forces that do not want you to step into this blessing, not because you are unworthy, but because they recognize what will happen once you do. Your elevation will not only change your life, it will influence others, open doors for people connected to you, and shift generational patterns that were never meant to continue. That is why the pressure has been increasing. That is why confusion has tried to cloud your clarity. Because if your focus is broken, your timing can be disrupted. And timing, right now, is everything. But listen closely. Despite all the interference, you are still here. You are still hearing this message. You have not completely lost your alignment. That alone is powerful. It means that no matter how strong the distractions have been, they have not been strong enough to fully pull you away from what is meant for you. April 29th is approaching like a divine signal, and Archangel Michael is urging you to become fully aware of what is unfolding. This is not the time to second-guess yourself. This is not the time to shrink back into old patterns of fear or hesitation. You are being called to rise above the noise, to see beyond the surface, and to recognize the truth that has been trying to reach you. There is also something else you must understand. Blessings of this magnitude require readiness, not just desire. It is not enough to want change. You must be willing to recognize it when it arrives, even if it does not look exactly the way you expected. Sometimes, the greatest opportunities come disguised as simple decisions, quiet nudges, or moments that seem small on the outside but carry enormous weight within them. Archangel Michael is guiding you to pay attention to everything around you now. The conversations you have, the ideas that come into your mind, the opportunities that suddenly appear. Nothing is slujikaki. Everything is part of a larger orchestration designed to position you exactly where you need to be at the right moment. And yet, there is still a warning within this message. Because just as this door is opening for you, it is not guaranteed to remain open forever. Divine timing does not wait endlessly. It responds to alignment, to awareness, to action. If you remain distracted, if you continue to ignore the signs, if you allow doubt to speak louder than truth, you risk stepping out of sync with what has already been prepared for you. But the fact that you are hearing this now means something important. It means you still have time. Not unlimited time, but enough. Enough to shift your focus. Enough to awaken your spirit. Enough to step into the awareness that this moment is real, and it is yours to claim. The question now is whether you will fully wake up to it or allow the noise around you to keep you from seeing what has already been set in motion. There is something you must face now, something that may feel uncomfortable but carries a truth you cannot afford to ignore. The other person that Archangel Michael is warning you about is not just a random stranger wandering into your blessing. This person represents readiness. This person represents alignment. And in some ways, this person reflects the version of you that you are being called to become right now. Because here is the deeper truth. Blessings do not simply fall into hands that are unprepared to hold them. They respond to awareness, to movement, to a spirit that is willing to say, "I am ready now." And if there is hesitation within you, If there is doubt whispering that you are not enough, not ready, or not deserving, then that hesitation creates space. Space that someone else, somewhere, is prepared to step into without question. Archangel Michael is not trying to frighten you. He is trying to awaken you. Because the greatest threat to your blessing is not another person. It is your own delay. It is the moments where you ignore what you feel deep inside. It is the times you sense a nudge but choose comfort instead. It is the habit of second-guessing what your spirit already knows is true. Think about the opportunities you may have overlooked in the past. The chances you almost took but pulled back from at the last second. The ideas that came to you but were buried under doubt. Those moments were not meaningless. They were previews. They were glimpses of how close you had been before. And now, here you are again, standing at an even greater threshold. But this time, the stakes are higher. There is someone else, spiritually speaking, who is not hesitating. Someone who is moving when they feel called. Someone who is not waiting for perfect clarity, but stepping forward with faith. And this is what Archangel Michael is urgently trying to show you, not to compare you, but to remind you that the blessing responds to action. It responds to those who are willing to claim it without shrinking back. But listen carefully, because this is where everything begins to shift in your favor. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. The fact that you are hearing this right now means that the door is still open for you. It means that the blessing still carries your name. It means that there is still time to align yourself with what has already been prepared. What you must do now is release the weight of hesitation. You must stop entertaining the thoughts that tell you to wait, to delay, to figure it out later. Later is not where your blessing exists. It exists in this moment. It exists in your willingness to respond now, to trust now, to move now. Archangel Michael is calling you into a state of clarity, a place where you no longer allow fear to disguise itself as logic, because sometimes fear sounds reasonable and tells you to be careful, to hold back, to avoid risk. But in moments like this, that voice can quietly lead you away from the very thing you have been praying for. This is your awakening moment. The moment where you decide whether you will continue to stand on the edge or step fully into what is waiting for you. There is no neutral ground here. Every second you remain uncertain is a second where the energy of that blessing begins to shift toward the one who is ready to receive it without hesitation. But you can change that right now, with a decision, with a shift in your awareness, with a simple but powerful choice to say, I will not let this pass me by. Feel the weight of that. Feel the power of that. Because the moment you make that decision, everything begins to respond differently. Your focus sharpens. Your spirit aligns. And the path that once seemed unclear starts to reveal itself step by step. Now is the time to declare your readiness. Not quietly, not passively, but with certainty. Type I am ready to receive in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 639 has just been released. And as this truth settles into your heart, understand this. Your response in this moment does not only affect you. It becomes a ripple, a signal, a light that reaches others who are searching, who are waiting, who are on the edge just like you once were. When you step into alignment, you help open doors for countless others to do the same. This is why your support matters in a deeper way than you may realize. When you choose to give, when you choose to sow into this mission, you are not just offering help, you are becoming part of a divine flow that carries messages like this to the exact soul who needs it at the exact moment they are about to give up. I feel called to be part of this work. I feel something moving in me right now. If that is what you sense, then do not ignore it. This is your moment to act in alignment, not just for yourself, but for others who are waiting for their breakthrough. Scripture says, "Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just words. This is a living promise speaking directly into your situation. As you give, you activate a flow that returns to you in ways you cannot predict. The PayPal link is in the description, and a QR code is placed within this video as a doorway for your obedience. Step through it with faith. Let your action become a seed. Let your seed become a harvest, not just in your life, but in the lives of many. Do not wait. Act now. There is something deeply powerful you are about to understand, something that may change the way you see your entire journey up to this point. This blessing that has your name written on it did not appear overnight. It was not created in a moment, and it was not assigned to you by chance. It has been in preparation for far longer than you realize, carefully aligned through your past, your struggles, your prayers, and even the moments you thought were setbacks. Archangel Michael is revealing that long before you recognize this moment, heaven had already begun working on your behalf. Every tear you shed in silence, every time you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier, every moment you held on to faith when there was no visible reason to do so, those were not forgotten. They were recorded. They were honored. And they became part of the foundation for what is now being released to you. You may have asked yourself in the past, why has it taken so long? You may have questioned why others seemed to move ahead while you felt stuck, delayed, or overlooked. But what you could not see then is what is being revealed now. This was never about denial. It was about preparation. Because what is coming into your life requires a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned than you once were. If this blessing had arrived earlier, you might not have recognized its value. You might have mishandled it, doubted it, or even pushed it away without realizing it. But now, after everything you have experienced, you are standing in a different place. You see things more clearly. You feel things more deeply, and you are far more capable of holding what is being placed into your hands. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that you were chosen with intention, not because you are perfect, but because you are ready in ways you may not fully see yet. There is a strength within you that has been quietly built over time, a resilience that cannot be shaken easily, a deeper awareness that allows you to recognize truth when it reaches you. These are not small things. These are the very qualities that make you capable of receiving and sustaining a blessing of this magnitude. And yet, even with all this preparation, there is still a final step that must be taken. Because preparation alone is not enough. There must be acceptance. There must be a moment where you stop questioning whether you deserve this and begin to embrace the reality that it is already yours. This is where many people falter. They come so close to their breakthrough, but at the final moment, they hesitate. They look at their past mistakes. They focus on their flaws. They allow old beliefs to convince them that something this significant cannot truly belong to them. And in doing so, they unknowingly distance themselves from what was already within reach. But this is not your story. Not this time. Archangel Michael is urging you to release every thought that tries to disqualify you. The past does not have authority over this moment unless you give it that power. What matters now is not who you were, but who you have become. And who you have become is someone who has endured, someone who has learned, and someone who is now standing at the edge of receiving something extraordinary. There is also a deeper layer to this blessing that you must not overlook. It is not only about what you will gain, it is about what will flow through you. This abundance carries purpose. It carries the ability to impact others, to create change, to break patterns that may have existed in your life or your family for generations. You are not just being lifted for your own sake. You are being positioned as a channel through which greater things can happen. That is why this moment matters so much. That is why Archangel Michael's presence feels so strong and urgent. Because what is being placed before you is not small, and it cannot be treated lightly. It requires your full awareness, your full acceptance, your willingness to step forward without shrinking back. Take a moment right now and truly feel this. Everything you have been through has led you here. Not to a dead end, not to another delay, but to a point of release. A point where what was once held back is now ready to be given. The only question that remains is whether you will fully receive it. Because the preparation is complete. The alignment is happening. The blessing is ready. Now, it is waiting for you. There is a tension in this moment that you can no longer ignore, and it may feel uncomfortable to face, but it carries a truth that will either push you forward or cause you to fall back into delay. You have sensed it already. That intensity, that feeling that something is pressing you, urging you, almost confronting you. This is where many misunderstand what is happening. They assume that the urgency coming from Archangel Michael is anger in the way humans understand it. But this is not anger rooted in judgment. This is urgency born from protection, from clarity, and from a deep knowing of what is at stake for you right now. What feels like pressure is actually a divine push. It is the moment where you are being asked to rise above the patterns that have kept you waiting for so long. Because if you are honest with yourself, there have been times when you delayed your own progress. Times when you knew what to do but chose comfort instead. Times when you felt the call to act, but allowed fear to convince you to wait just a little longer. And that little longer has cost you before. Archangel Michael is bringing this to your awareness not to shame you, but to make sure it does not happen again. Because this time, the cost is too great. This time, what stands before you is not a small opportunity that can be replaced easily. This is something significant. Something that has been prepared with intention. And if you allow hesitation to take control again, you risk watching it move past you just as it arrives. There's a test hidden within this moment. Not a test designed to make you fail, but one designed to reveal whether you are truly ready to step into what you have been asking for. Readiness is not proven through words. It is revealed through action. Through the ability to recognize the moment when it arrives and respond without retreating into doubt. Right now, you are being asked a silent question. Will you move differently this time? Will you trust what you feel, even if it does not make complete sense yet? Will you follow the nudge, even if it takes you out of your comfort zone? Will you choose alignment over hesitation, even when your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns? Because this is where everything begins to shift. Not in some distant future, but here, in this exact moment where you decide how you will respond. Archangel Michael's presence is strong because the window for this decision is not endless. There is a timing attached to this blessing, a rhythm that is moving forward whether you act or not. And while the blessing carries your name, it will not force itself into your life if you are not willing to meet it halfway. This is where many lose what was meant for them. Not because it was taken, but because it was not claimed. And you must understand, claiming something like this does not always look dramatic. It does not always come with a loud announcement or a clear, obvious sign. Sometimes, it looks like a simple decision. A quiet moment where you choose to step forward instead of stepping back. A point where you stop waiting for certainty and begin moving with faith. You are standing in that moment right now. Feel the weight of it. Feel the importance of it. because this is where the separation happens between those who receive and those who watch from a distance as the opportunity passes by. But you are not here to watch. You are not here to repeat the same cycle. You are here because something within you is ready to break that pattern once and for all. Archangel Michael is not standing before you to block your path. He is standing here to make sure you do not block yourself. To make sure that this time you recognize what is being placed in front of you and respond with the confidence that has been growing within you all along. Do not mistake this urgency for something negative. It is one of the greatest signs that something real is happening, that something significant is within reach, that you are not imagining this shift. You are living it. And now, everything depends on what you do next. Will you hesitate again, or will you finally step into what has been waiting for you? There are signs unfolding around you right now, quiet but persistent, subtle yet impossible to ignore once you truly begin to see them. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are signals designed to catch your attention, to pull you out of distraction and into awareness. Archangel Michael is revealing that the blessing attached to your name does not arrive in silence. It announces itself through patterns, through repetition, through moments that feel too aligned to be random. Think back over the past few days. Have you noticed numbers appearing repeatedly, almost as if they are following you? Sequences like 111, 222, 444, or even combinations that seem to stand out without explanation. These are not just numbers. They are markers. They are reminders that something is aligning, that you are being guided, that you are not alone in this moment. And then there are the dreams. Some clear, some fragmented, but carrying a feeling that lingers long after you wake up. Dreams where you are receiving something, discovering something, or being shown a path you had not considered before. Even if you do not fully understand them, they are part of the message. Archangel Michael often communicates through these channels when your mind is quiet, when resistance is lowered, when your spirit is more open to receiving truth. You may have also experienced sudden thoughts that seem to come from nowhere. Ideas, impulses, or strong feelings urging you to take a specific step, to reach out to someone, to explore something new. These are not random sparks of imagination. These are nudges, guidance placed within you, waiting for you to recognize them and act. But here is where many people miss it. They dismiss these signs because they do not look dramatic enough. They expect something overwhelming, something undeniable, something that removes all uncertainty. But divine guidance does not always operate that way. It invites you to participate. It asks for your awareness. It requires your willingness to trust even when everything is not fully explained. Archangel Michael is asking you now to pay attention in a deeper way, not just to what is obvious, but to what is subtle. Because the blessing you are approaching is not separated from your daily life. It is woven into it. It is hidden within conversations, opportunities, and moments that may seem ordinary on the surface but carry extraordinary potential beneath. There may be someone you are meant to speak to, a connection that seems casual but holds significance, a decision that appears small but leads to something much greater. These are the entry points. These are the ways the blessing begins to take form in your reality. And yet, there is still a challenge within this, because recognizing the signs is only the first step. Responding to them is what truly matters. You may feel hesitation rising when you sense these nudges. You may question whether you are imagining things, whether you are reading too much into what you see and feel. This is where your growth is being tested. This is where you must decide whether you will trust the alignment that is unfolding or retreat back into doubt. Archangel Michael is reminding you that clarity often comes after movement, not before. Waiting for complete certainty may keep you stuck in place while the opportunity moves forward without you. But when you take a step, even a small one, you begin to see more. The path starts to reveal itself. The next sign becomes clearer. The direction becomes stronger. This is how alignment works. It is not a single moment, but a series of connected steps, each one building upon the last. Right now, you are being guided through those steps. The signs you are seeing are not separate from your blessing. They are leading you directly toward it. They are preparing you, positioning you, and confirming that you are moving in the right direction. But you must remain present. You must remain aware, because distraction is still trying to pull you away. It may come in the form of overthinking, of doubt, of focusing on things that drain your energy instead of sharpening your focus. These are the moments where you must consciously bring yourself back to what matters. Pay attention to what repeats. Pay attention to what stands out. Pay attention to what feels aligned, even if you cannot fully explain why. Because the more you recognize these signs, the more they will increase. The more you respond, the clearer they will become. And the closer you will move toward the moment where the blessing is no longer something you are waiting for, but something you are actively stepping into. Everything is speaking to you right now. The question is, are you truly listening? There is something within you that must be confronted now, something that has followed you quietly for a long time. It does not always appear as fear in an obvious way. Sometimes it disguises itself as hesitation. Sometimes it shows up as overthinking, as waiting for the right time, or as a voice that tells you to be careful, to slow down, to not move too quickly. But beneath all of that, there is a pattern that has tried to keep you from fully stepping into your power. Archangel Michael is bringing this into the light because you cannot carry it forward into what is coming next. This blessing, this shift, this moment that is unfolding in your life, it requires a version of you that is no longer bound by those old limitations. And the truth is, those limitations were never as strong as they made themselves appear. They only remained because they were not challenged. Think about how many times you have doubted yourself, even when there was evidence that you were capable. How many times you held back your voice, your ideas, your actions, simply because a part of you questioned whether it would work out. The pattern has been like a quiet chain, not visible to others, but strong enough to influence your decisions. But now, that chain is being broken. Archangel Michael is not only standing as a messenger in this moment, he is standing as a protector, a warrior of truth, cutting through the illusions that have tried to keep you small. Because what is in front of you cannot be reached by the version of you that continues to doubt, delay, and second-guess every step. You are being called into authority. Not arrogance, not force, but a deep, grounded confidence that says, I know who I am becoming, and I will not step back from it. This is where your mindset must shift. You can no longer approach opportunities with a question, what if this goes wrong? You must begin to ask, what if this is exactly what I have been waiting for? That single shift changes everything. It opens your perspective. It allows you to see possibility instead of risk, alignment instead of uncertainty. There are also external influences that you must become aware of. Not everyone around you will understand this shift. Some may unknowingly project their own fears onto you. Others may question your decisions, not because they see something you don't, but because they are not operating at the same level of awareness. You must learn to discern the difference between guidance and limitation. True guidance will align with growth. It will challenge you, but it will not shrink you. Limitation, on the other hand, will always pull you back into comfort, into safety, into the familiar patterns that keep you exactly where you are. Archangel Michael is asking you to stand firm now, to recognize that not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion should shape your direction. You are being guided from a higher place, and that guidance must take priority over anything that creates confusion or doubt. This is also the moment where you reclaim your inner authority, where you stop waiting for external validation and begin trusting what you feel within. Because the truth is, you have already been given the signals. You have already been shown the direction. What remains is your willingness to follow through. Breaking these chains is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you were always meant to be before fear began to shape your choices. It is about stepping into clarity, into confidence, into a state where you no longer question whether you are capable of receiving what is being offered to you. Feel the shift happening within you right now. That subtle but powerful change in how you see yourself, how you see this moment, how you see what is possible. This is not temporary. This is the beginning of a new way of thinking, a new way of responding, a new way of moving forward. Archangel Michael is walking with you through this transformation, not to carry you, but to strengthen you, to remind you that you are not powerless in this moment. You are positioned. And when you fully step into that position, when you release the chains of hesitation and claim your authority, something remarkable happens. The path that once seemed uncertain becomes clear. The opportunities that once felt distant come closer. And the blessing that once felt like a possibility becomes a reality you are actively stepping into. You are no longer the person who waits. You are the one who moves. And everything is about to respond to that decision. Something is shifting right now, and this is no longer a moment of preparation. It is a moment of decision. Everything you have heard, everything you have felt stirring within you, has been leading to this exact point. Archangel Michael is not whispering anymore. The message is clear, direct, and urgent. You are being called to act now, not later, not when it feels more comfortable, not when everything makes perfect sense, but now, in this present moment where alignment is strongest. There comes a time when thinking must give way to movement, when waiting must be replaced with action, and that time is here for you. You have already received the signs. You have already felt the nudges. You have already been shown enough to take the next step. What remains is your response. Ask yourself this honestly. What is the one thing you know you should do, but have been putting off? That one decision, that one action, that one step that keeps returning to your mind no matter how much you try to delay it. That is not random. That is your doorway. That is where your blessing begins to take form in your physical reality. For some, it may be reaching out to someone. For others, it may be starting something you have been postponing. It could be making a bold decision, letting go of something that no longer aligns, or stepping into an opportunity that feels slightly uncomfortable but deeply right. Whatever it is, you already know it. You do not need more confirmation. You need courage. Archangel Michael is standing with you, not to remove the step, but to strengthen you as you take it. Because this is where faith becomes real. Not in words, not in thoughts, but in action. Faith is proven in movement. And when you move, even in uncertainty, you activate something powerful. You show that you are ready, that you are aligned, that you are no longer allowing hesitation to control your path. This moment will not repeat itself in the same way. The alignment you are experiencing right now is specific. It is precise. It hath been building toward this point. And if you allow it to pass without response, it does not simply pause and wait. It continues moving. Opportunities evolve. Paths shift. And what was once directly in front of you may no longer be as accessible. But hear this clearly. You are not being asked to do something impossible. You are being asked to do something necessary. The weight you feel is not pressure meant to overwhelm you. It is importance. It is the recognition that what you do now matters more than you realize. And while part of you may still want to hesitate, another part of you, deeper, stronger, more certain, is ready to step forward. This is the part of you that you must listen to. Do not overcomplicate this moment. Do not wait for every detail to be clear. The first step does not require full understanding. It requires willingness. Once you take it, the next step will reveal itself. That is how this works. That is how alignment unfolds. Archangel Michael is guiding you into a place where you no longer stand on the edge of your life, watching what could be. You are stepping into it actively, intentionally, without retreat. So take that step. Make that decision. Act on that nudge. Let this moment be the one where everything begins to change because you chose not to delay any longer. Feel the power in that. Feel the shift that happens the moment you decide to move. Type "I claim my blessing" now in the comments if you are stepping into alignment at this very moment. Blessing code 8842 has just been released. And as you stand in this moment of decision, understand that your action carries more weight than you can see. When you move in faith, you do not just shift your own path. You open doors for others who are watching, who are waiting, who are searching for the same courage you are choosing right now. This is where your impact begins to expand beyond yourself. Because every message, every moment of clarity, every awakening like this reaches someone who was on the edge of giving up. And when you choose to support this mission, you become part of that ripple effect. I feel this calling. I want to help this message reach more souls. If that is stirring within you, do not ignore it. This is your moment to act not just in receiving, but in giving. The word says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." This is not a distant promise. It is alive, speaking into your current moment. As you give, you activate a return that flows back into your life in ways beyond what you expect. The PayPal link is in the description, and the QR code is placed within this video as a gateway for your obedience. Step into it with faith. Let your action become a seed that multiplies far beyond what you can see. Do not delay. Move now. There is a moment that follows obedience, a moment that many do not fully understand until they experience it for themselves. It is the shift that happens after you decide to move, after you step out of hesitation and into alignment. And what awaits you on the other side of that decision is far greater than what you can currently imagine. When this blessing is fully claimed, it will not arrive as something small or insignificant. It will come with a presence, with a weight that makes it clear that your life has entered a new phase. A financial breakthrough attached to this moment is only one part of the transformation. What truly changes is your position, your standing, your confidence, your understanding of what is possible for you. You will begin to notice that things start to open in ways they never have before. Opportunities that once felt distant will suddenly feel accessible. Doors that remained closed despite your efforts will begin to respond with ease. And the struggle that once felt constant will no longer define your experience in the same way. But beyond the external changes, there is an internal shift that is even more powerful. You will start to see yourself differently. The doubt that once held you back will lose its grip. The hesitation that once slowed you down will be replaced with clarity and direction. You will begin to trust yourself in a way that feels new, but also deeply natural, as if you are finally stepping into who you were always meant to be. Archangel Michael is revealing that this blessing carries expansion, not just addition. It is not about adding something small to your life. It is about elevating your entire experience. Your mindset will grow. Your vision will expand. You will begin to think beyond limitations that once felt permanent. And with that expansion comes responsibility. Because what you receive is not meant to remain stagnant. It is meant to flow. The abundance entering your life carries purpose. It is designed to move through you, to create impact, to touch the lives of others in ways you may not yet fully understand. This is how true blessings operate. They multiply when they are shared, when they are used with intention, when they are allowed to extend beyond the individual receiving them. You may find yourself in positions where you can help others in ways you once could not. You may become a source of support, of guidance, of opportunity for those around you. And in those moments, you will begin to see the deeper meaning behind everything you have gone through. The delays, the challenges, the lessons, they were all shaping you for this level of influence. Here is also a sense of peace that comes with alignment, a quiet knowing that you are no longer chasing something uncertain, but living within something that is already unfolding. That constant tension you may have felt before, the feeling of waiting, of wondering when things would change, that begins to fade. In its place, there is stability. There is confidence. There is a sense that you are finally moving in the direction you were always meant to go. But understand this clearly. This transformation begins the moment you claim it, not before. It is not something that happens while you are still hesitating, still questioning, still holding back. It activates when you decide, fully and completely, that you are ready to receive and to move forward. Archangel Michael is showing you a glimpse of what is ahead, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of what is possible when you align yourself with this moment. Because once you step into it, there is no returning to the old version of yourself. You cannot unsee what you will see. You cannot unknow what you will come to understand. This is not just a change in circumstances. It is a transformation of identity. And while that may feel overwhelming, it is also exactly what you have been preparing for all along. Take a moment and imagine your life without the constant weight of uncertainty. Imagine moving with clarity, with purpose, with a sense of direction that feels steady and real. Imagine having the resources, the opportunities, and the confidence to create the life you once only hoped for. That is what stands on the other side of this moment. It is not distant. It is not unreachable. It is directly connected to the decision you are making right now. Everything is ready to shift. The only thing left is for you to fully step into it. There is something you must understand with absolute clarity, because this is where many people rise and where many quietly fall back without even realizing it. Receiving the blessing is powerful, but protecting it is just as important. What is coming into your life is valuable, and anything of value requires awareness, discipline, and spiritual grounding to sustain it. Archangel Michael is not only concerned with you receiving this breakthrough, he is also preparing you to keep it, to grow it, and to ensure that it does not slip through your hands once it arrives. Because the truth is, not every loss happens before the blessing. Some losses happen after, when awareness fades and old patterns begin to return. You are stepping into a higher level, and that means you cannot carry the same mindset, the same habits, or the same distractions that once surrounded you. What worked before will not be enough for where you are going. There must be a shift not only in your actions, but in your consistency. Think about it this way: if you are given something extraordinary, but you treat it as ordinary, you slowly disconnect from its value. And when value is not recognized, it begins to weaken in your life. This is why gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a practice, a daily awareness that keeps you connected to what you have received. Archangel Michael is guiding you to remain grounded, even as things begin to elevate around you. Because elevation without grounding can lead to imbalance. An imbalance creates openings for distraction, for poor decisions, for influences that do not align with where you are meant to go. There will be moments after you receive this blessing where you are tested again, but in a different way. Not with lack, but with abundance. Not with waiting, but with choice. You will have more options, more opportunities, more freedom. And in those moments, your decisions will matter more than ever. Will you stay aligned with what brought you here? Or will you slowly drift back into habits that no longer serve you? This is not a question to create fear. It is a reminder to stay aware. Because sometimes, the greatest threat to a blessing is not external. It is internal. It is the tendency to become comfortable too quickly, to assume that what hath been gained will always remain, regardless of how it is handled. But true growth requires intention. It requires you to stay connected to the same awareness, the same discipline, the same alignment that allowed you to receive this in the first place. Archangel Michael is asking you to build a foundation that supports what is coming. A foundation of clarity, of purpose, of mindful decisions. This means being selective about where your energy goes, being intentional about who you allow into your space, being aware of the influences that shape your thinking and your actions. Not everything that appears after your elevation will be aligned with your highest good. Some things may look appealing but carry consequences that pull you away from your path. This is where your discernment becomes essential. This is where you must trust what you feel, just as you were guided to trust in this moment. There is also a deeper level of responsibility that comes with this blessing. Because as you grow, as your influence expands, others will look to you. They will observe how you handle what you have been given. They will learn from your choices, your actions, your mindset. And this is where your impact continues to grow. Not just through what you receive, but through how you carry it. Archangel Michael is reminding you that this is not about perfection. You are not expected to never make mistakes, but you are called to remain aware, to learn, to adjust, and to continue moving forward without losing sight of what matters. Protecting your blessing means staying connected to your purpose, to your awareness, to the guidance that has brought you this far. It means not allowing temporary distractions to pull you away from long-term alignment. Take a moment and truly understand this. You are not only being given something valuable, you are being trusted with it. And that trust carries power. When you honor it, when you stay aligned, when you move with intention, the blessing does not just remain, it grows. It multiplies. It expands beyond what you first receive. But it all comes back to one thing, your awareness after the breakthrough. Archangel Michael is standing with you not only at the door of this blessing, but beyond it, guiding you to walk in a way that sustains everything you are about to receive. This is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning of a higher level of it. There is a strengthening happening within you now, something that goes beyond emotion, beyond excitement, beyond even understanding. It is a deeper level of knowing that is beginning to take root. And this is important, because as you stand on the edge of this transformation, your belief must become stronger than your doubt has ever been. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you are not walking this path alone. Even in moments where you felt isolated, where you questioned whether anyone truly understood what you were going through, there was always a presence guiding you, protecting you, and aligning things in ways you could not yet see. That presence has not left you. In fact, It is closer now than ever before. There are others who have stood exactly where you are standing right now. People who once felt the same hesitation, the same uncertainty, the same quiet fear of stepping into something greater. And yet, they chose to move forward. They chose to trust. They chose to act despite not having every answer. And because of the decision, their lives changed in ways they once believed were out of reach. These are not distant stories meant to inspire you from afar. These are reflections meant to show you what is possible when alignment meets action. The same shift that happened for them is available to you now, not because you are identical to them, but because the principle is the same. When you respond to the moment responds to you. Archangel Michael is asking you to hold on to this truth with strength. Do not allow the last traces of doubt to weaken what you are beginning to step into. Doubt will try to linger, even now. It may whisper questions, create small hesitations, attempt to pull your focus back into uncertainty. But you must recognize it for what it is, a habit, not a truth. Your truth is what you feel deep within. That quiet certainty that brought you here. That sense that something real is unfolding. That awareness that this moment matters more than others you have experienced before. That is what you must hold on to. There is also a powerful shift that happens when you begin to affirm your position. Not just internally, but outwardly. When you start to declare, even in simple ways, that you are ready, that you are aligned, that you are stepping into what has been prepared for you, you begin to reinforce that reality. Words carry energy. They shape your focus. They direct your attention. And when your words align with your intention, they strengthen your movement forward. This is why it is important to speak in alignment with what you are stepping into, not with the fears you are leaving behind. You may not see the full picture yet, and that is okay. You may not understand every detail of how this blessing will unfold, and that is also okay. What matters is that you trust the process enough to continue moving. Because clarity grows with movement, not with stillness. Archangel Michael is also reminding you to stay grounded in gratitude, even before everything fully manifests. Gratitude is not just a response to receiving, it is a signal of alignment. It shows that you recognize what is already unfolding, even if it is not yet complete in your physical reality. When you hold that gratitude, you strengthen the connection between where you are and where you are going. You create a state of openness, of readiness, of receptivity that allows the blessing to move toward you without resistance. Take a moment now and reflect on how far you have come, not just in terms of time, but in growth, in awareness, in strength. You are not the same person you were before, and that is why this moment is different. Everything you have experienced has led you here, not to test you endlessly, not to keep you waiting, but to prepare you for this exact point where you are ready to step into something greater. Archangel Michael is standing with you in this moment of affirmation, reminding you that what you are feeling is real, that what is unfolding is aligned, that what is coming is not beyond you, it is meant for you. So stand firm in that. Hold on to it. Let it become stronger than anything that tries to pull you away from it. Because now, more than ever, your belief is your foundation. And from this foundation, everything else will rise. Beloved one, everything has led to this moment, and now the intensity begins to soften into something deeper, something peaceful, something certain. You have felt the urgency. You have heard the call. You have stood at the edge of a decision that carries the power to change your life. And now, as you take this final breath within this message, Archangel Michael's presence is no longer pressing. It is steady, reassuring, and filled with a quiet strength that surrounds you. There is no more confusion left in this space. The truth has already reached you. The awareness has already awakened within you. What once felt distant now feels close. What once felt uncertain now carries a sense of clarity that cannot be ignored. And this is where peace begins, not because everything has already happened, but because you now understand what is yours and what you must do to receive it. April 29th is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. It is a divine appointment that you have been guided toward, step by step, moment by moment. And no matter how intense the journey has felt, you are still here. You did not miss it. You did not lose your place. You have arrived at the exact point where alignment meets opportunity. Archangel Michael wants you to feel this deeply. You are safe to step forward. You are supported in ways you cannot fully see. The same force that prepared this blessing is the same force that will guide you as you walk into it. You are not being left to figure this out alone. You are being led, protected, and strengthened with every step you take. Let go of any remaining fear. Let go of the last traces of hesitation. They no longer serve you. They belong to an earlier version of you, not the one who stands here now, ready to receive. This version of you understands. This version of you trusts. This version of you moves forward with a quiet confidence that does not need to be loud to be powerful. And as you step into this new space, remember this: your blessing is not something fragile. It is not something that disappears the moment you move. It is something that responds to your alignment, your awareness, your willingness to stay connected to what brought you here. There will be moments ahead where you reflect back on this exact time and realize how important it was. How this message, this awareness, this decision created a turning point in your life. And in that reflection, you will see clearly that you did not let it slip away. You chose differently. You responded. You stepped forward. And now, take a breath and feel the calm that comes with that knowing. You are ready. Type IT is already mine in the comments if you are claiming this with full faith. Blessing code 9901 has now been activated. And as this message settles into your spirit, understand that what you have just received is not meant to stay with you alone. Just as this word reached you at the perfect moment, there are countless others standing at the edge of their own breakthrough, waiting for a light to guide them forward. I am part of this mission. I am called to help this message reach others. If you feel that stirring within you, do not ignore it. This is your moment to sow into something eternal. Just as a seed is planted into the ground to bring forth a harvest, your giving becomes a spiritual seed that carries this message into hearts that are ready but have not yet heard. The word declares, "Whoever sows generously will also reap generously." And this is not a distant promise. It is alive, speaking directly into your life right now. As you release, heaven responds. As you give, doors open. As you act, blessings multiply in ways you cannot predict. This is your divine moment of response. The PayPal link is waiting in the description, and the QR code is present in this video as a gateway of obedience. Step into it with faith. Let your action become a river that flows beyond you, touching lives, awakening souls, and expanding the reach of God's voice. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. Move as you are being called. And as you do, may peace settle over you, may clarity guide you, and may the blessing that carries your name fully find its way into your hands.